Superstar X Factor players are the most dominant players in Madden, so today it's time to talk about the 50 players who are going to be Superstar X Factors going into Madden 21 and what their actual X Factor abilities will be. You may remember last year the X Factor and Superstar abilities came to the game. You get 50 X Factors every year. Some people lose them throughout the year, some people gain them, but EA tries to keep it at 50 players so that it is an exclusive club. So today we're going to talk about who all of the X Factor players are for Madden 21. Now, if you are new to the channel, however, you might want to subscribe and turn that bell icon on because we're going to be getting Madden 20 gameplay almost any day now. Like, really any day it could come. Could be next week, could be in a few days, but there's tons more news and stuff coming soon, so if you don't want to miss that, make sure to join the family. We just hit 281K, so if you're a lurker and you kind of haven't decided if you want to subscribe yet, come join the family, drop a comment below. We would love to have you. Also dropped a video on my second channel today, so go check that out if you haven't yet. Now let's talk about the players on the list. Madden School put this list out a few days ago. They also put the ratings out early as well, and their ratings were almost 100% accurate. There definitely were maybe like 10 players who were wrong, but judging by the X Factor list and comparing it to the beta, I'm pretty sure this is an exact list of what the actual X Factors are. So let's get into it. For the quarterbacks, we have Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, and Drew Brees. Now let's look at the X Factors. The first one up is Pro Reads. This is for Tom Brady and Drew Brees. When they get in the zone, their open receiver, the first open receiver, will be highlighted. It'll blink so you'll know who's open, and also you can't be penalized by pass rush pressure or blitzing pressure when you're in the zone. This was in the game last year. It is making its return this year. Next up, we have Bazooka. This is for Patrick Mahomes. In the game last year, making its return again this year. When he enters the zone, his maximum throw distance is increased by 15 plus yards. So when he gets in the zone and you combine that with Tyreek Hill's speed, good luck stopping him from going over the top and for Tyreek Hill running in for an easy touchdown. Next up, we have Gambler. For Aaron Rodgers, was also in the game last year. When he enters the zone, he cannot be intercepted by AI defenders. Now, a user defender can still intercept him, but if you're playing against the computer and you're in the zone with Aaron Rodgers, the AI cannot intercept the ball. Also, his throwing speed will increase as well, so the ball comes out faster. Next up, we have Blitz Radar returning again this year. This is for Russell Wilson. When he enters the zone, all blitzing linebackers and defensive backs are highlighted, so you know that they are blitzing. Now, this can be bluffed by the defense. If you blitz your players, it'll still show Russell Wilson that they're blitzing, but they will drop back into a zone after faking the blitz, so there is a counter to that. And the last one is the Trust ability, which is new to the game for the cover boy Lamar Jackson. When he enters the zone, no tackles made against him can result in a fumble, and you know those QB fumbles when you're rushing the ball have been a problem in Madden for years. It looks like they made them a little bit better this year, but for Lamar Jackson specifically, once he does enter the zone, you don't have to worry about fumbling. You can go out there, try to make more people miss, and you can take those hits and be okay. Big thanks to Hawthorne for sponsoring today's video. Now, if you don't know what Hawthorne is, let me get you hip real quick. They are a premium tailored cologne brand, but not just cologne. They have all kind of stuff like body wash, face wash, shampoo, deodorant. But what's really great about Hawthorne is that they tailor all of the products specifically to you and your needs. So what you do is you go on their website, you take a brief quiz, takes like 2 to 3 minutes. It's going to ask you what type of hair do you have, what type of skin do you have, and just every little question that it can to perfectly tailor each product to you. And this is why I love Hawthorne, because you just can't get this experience in a store. And the older I get, you know, you change your skin, your hair, all these things change as you get older. And some of the products I used to use over the counter just stop working. They don't work the same. And that's what's great about Hawthorne, is everything is going to work specifically to you and your needs. In fact, they sponsored a video a little bit over a month ago, and I got to try these products out. And now, after using them for it's been probably about 6 or so weeks now, I have to say they nailed everything. I've loved every product, and I can't wait to re-up once my products actually run out, because it works so much better than anything that I've been able to find out of the store. So if you want to check out Hawthorne for yourself, the link will be below in the description, and you can use code ERIC10 to get 10% off of your order. Next up, we have the running back X Factor players: Saquon Barkley, Dalvin Cook, Nick Chubb, Ezekiel Elliott, Derrick Henry, and of course the 99 overall man himself, Christian McCaffrey. The first one, free X Factor, is for Saquon Barkley and Dalvin Cook. When they enter the zone, it increases their fake out rate on the next juke, spin, or hurdle. So if Barkley or Dalvin Cook get in the zone, their next ball carrier move has a very high chance of faking out the first defender. Next up, we have Freight Train for Nick Chubb, Ezekiel Elliott, and Derrick Henry. Ezekiel Elliott back on the X Factor list. If you remember at the end of last year, they took it away from him. They actually gave it back to him.
I need my X Factor back.
So what Freight Train does is when they enter the zone, this ability increases their chance to break the next tackle. More of like a trucking type of X Factor. And in my opinion, this was the best X Factor for running backs last year. When you had a guy with Freight Train in the zone, he was breaking multiple tackles a play. So I'm curious to see if it's still going to be just as powerful in Madden 21. And last but not least, we have Ankle Breaker. This is a new X Factor ability for Christian McCaffrey. When he enters the zone, they have an increased fake out rate on a spin, juke, or hurdle after the catch. So this is basically like first one free, but for a catching running back, because we know as good of a runner as McCaffrey is, he's even more dangerous as a receiver. So after the catch, he's got the ability to have increased fake out rates on his ball carrier moves. Next up, we have the wide receiver and tight end X Factors. So for wide receiver players, we have Mike Evans, DeAndre Hopkins, Julio Jones, Devontae Adams, Adam Thielen, Stephon Diggs, Tyreek Hill, Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper, and Michael Thomas. For tight ends, we have Travis Kelce and we have George Kittle. Now, Double Me is the first ability up. You know this one from last year. This is for Travis Kelce, Mike Evans, DeAndre Hopkins, Julio Jones, Devontae Adams, and Adam Thielen. When they get into the zone, this ability increases their success rate on aggressive catches against single coverage, hence the Double Me. If you don't double them, if they're one-on-one and you throw up an aggressive catch, they're more than likely coming down with it. The next one is Rack 'em Up, also was in the game last year. This is for Tyreek Hill, who is now finally an X Factor, and Stephon Diggs. When they enter the zone, this ability increases their success rate on rack catches against single coverage. So kind of like Double Me versus single coverage, but this is just more of a getting over the top, run after the catch type X Factor, whereas Double Me is more of, going up and trying to spectacular catch the ball over somebody. Next, we have Max Security. Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper, and Michael Thomas have this ability. When they enter the zone, this ability increases their success rate and decreases the knockout chance on possession catches. So if they're in some tight coverage and you throw them the ball, it's going to be very unlikely that the defender knocks the ball out, and it's going to be almost 100% guaranteed that they're going to secure that possession catch. And lastly, we have a new ability called Yak 'em Up. This is for George Kittle only. Now, this is actually very, very true to how he is in real life. I really like this ability. When he enters the zone, he's going to be nearly guaranteed to break the first post-catch tackle, because George Kittle is that guy. We've seen it many times last year. He makes a catch. That first tackler almost never brings him down. He either trucks him over or he kind of drags him for a little bit and shrugs him off. So when George Kittle gets in the zone, he's going to get you that extra yards after the catch. Next up, we have our pass rush X Factor players, and there's a whole bunch of them. Khalil Mack, Myles Garrett, Joey Bosa, DeMarcus Lawrence, Cameron Jordan, J.J. Watt, Danielle Hunter, Von Miller, Fletcher Cox, Chandler Jones, Nick Bosa, T.J. Watt, Aaron Donald, Calais Campbell, and Chris Jones. Now, the first X Factor ability we're going to talk about is Unstoppable Force. This is for Khalil Mack, Myles Garrett, Joey Bosa, DeMarcus Lawrence, Cameron Jordan, J.J. Watt, and Danielle Hunter. When they enter the zone, their ability increases their win rate and block shed speed against one-on-one pass rush blocks. This was in the game last year. It's returning this year. When these guys get in the zone, they're essentially going to shed a one-on-one block almost instantly, and they're going to get to your QB about the fastest that they possibly can, which is like 1.5 to 2 seconds. Next, we have Fearmonger. This is for Von Miller and Fletcher Cox. When they enter the zone, they can apply significant pressure on quarterbacks even while engaged with blockers. This was also in the game last year. So when they get kind of close to the QB, even if they're still engaged in a block, just their presence alone can cause them maybe some inaccurate passes for the quarterback. Next up is Relentless. This is a new X Factor pass rush ability. This is for Chandler Jones, Nick Bosa, and TJ Watt. When they enter the zone, their rush move attempts are free. Now, what does that mean? This year, the new pass rush system, it gives all pass rushers a max of 5 pass rush attempts they can attempt each play, and after each play, they replenish 1 pass rush move. So if you use 3 pass rush moves on your first play, let's say, then the next play, you're only going to have 3 because you've used up 3 of your 5, which gives you 2, and you replenish 1. So now you have 3 moves on the next play, right? So that's the max moves you can attempt on any play are 5. When these guys are in the zone with Relentless, however, all their pass rush moves are free, so they can just kind of have unlimited pass rush moves, and it doesn't take away from their max 5 moves that they could have on any given play. I know that might sound a little confusing, it's just something new to the game, but that's what it is. Next up, we have another new X Factor, which is Blitz. This is for Aaron Donald only. When he enters the zone, all opposing blockers have the resistance bars wiped out. So much like the new defensive system where you have 5 attempts per play, on offense, the offensive line, they have resistance now. So if an offensive lineman is beat repeatedly by the same pass rush move, he starts to build up resistance bars, so where that move's not going to work as good each time because he's becoming more aware of, okay, this pass rusher just wants to keep using the same move. So you then have to use a different type of move, to try to catch him off guard. With Aaron Donald, when he's in the zone, it wipes the resistance of the opposing offensive line. So now it kind of takes them back to as if they're almost clueless to what Aaron Donald's going to do on this given play. I kind of think it's like an unrealistic ability, but that's what they decided to give Mr. 99 overall. Next up, we have Run Stuffer. This is for Calais Campbell. When he enters the zone, his ability increases the win rate and block shed speed against one-on-one run blocks. So when Calais Campbell gets in the zone, it's going to be pretty hard to run the ball in his direction because he's probably going to get a very quick block shed and wrap you up. And then lastly, we have Momentum Shift. This was in the game last year. This is for Chris Jones, defensive tackle. When he enters the zone, all on-field opponents are knocked out of the zone or lose progress towards entering the zone. So basically, when Chris Jones enters the zone, if you have anybody on offense that's already in the zone or they're close to getting into it, it wipes them back to 0, and now they got to start over. Now let's look at the linebacker and defensive back X Factor abilities, because a lot of these guys, they share the same abilities. We have the players, we have Derwin James, Harrison Smith, Bobby Wagner, Jamal Adams. We have Tre'Davious White, Tyrann Mathieu, Richard Sherman, Jair Alexander, Stephon Gilmore, Devin McCourty, and Jalen Ramsey. So here are the abilities. The first one is Reinforcement. Now, what this does is when you enter the zone, it increases the chance of defeating run blocks and disrupting catches via tackles. This is for Derwin James and Harrison Smith. So when they're in the zone, they're going to defeat run blocks much easier, and they're going to disrupt catches. Like if they try to wrap you up right after a catch, there's a good chance you drop the ball. Next, we have Avalanche. This is new to the game this year. This one's pretty crazy. This is for Jamal Adams and Bobby Wagner. When they enter the zone, any successful hit stick made while running towards the line of scrimmage will result in a fumble. That's pretty crazy. A lot of people seem freaked out about that, but keep in mind, it's usually not super easy to get into the zone, and I believe this means maybe just behind the line of scrimmage. I don't know if the wording is weird on this, but it says if you hit stick them while they're running toward the line of scrimmage, it'll result in a fumble. So that would mean, like on a run play, for example, maybe if you're shooting the gap with a Bobby Wagner or a Jamal Adams, or you're coming clean off the edge, maybe at the QB or something, and he's trying to run forward, you're going to force a fumble. I don't know if it actually counts if they're actually past the line of scrimmage, but that's a new one, and it does sound pretty crazy. Next, we have Shutdown. This was in the game last year. It's returning this year. This is for Tre'Davious White, Tyrann Mathieu, Richard Sherman, Jair Alexander, and Stephon Gilmore. When they enter the zone, their coverage is tighter and interceptions are more frequent on contested catches. Then we have Zone Hawk, also was in the game last year. This is for Devin McCourty. When he enters the zone, the ability increases the rate of catch knockouts and interceptions while in zone coverage only, because it's called Zone Hawk. And lastly, we have Bottleneck. This is new to the game this year, and this is only for Jalen Ramsey. When he enters the zone, he is highly likely to dominantly win any man press encounter. So basically, if Jalen Ramsey's in the zone and you have him in man coverage and you press him up on the wide receiver, he's probably gonna make it very hard for that receiver to get off the line. He's probably gonna push him out of the play even, I would think. And basically, if Ramsey's in the zone, I wouldn't even look at the wide receiver that's on him, because you're probably gonna get jammed very aggressively and not get off the line quickly at all. So those are all of the X Factor players in the game this year. Surely there's plenty of snubs like every year, so let me know who you think is snubbed below in the comments, and I'll do a video soon talking about the 10 most snubbed X Factor players, people that should have had them but didn't get them. And as always, I will see you guys next time.